seat. And then we'll come to a halt, so we'll prepare, breathe in, breathe out. Let your life die just a little bit, depending on if you want a dressage stop or a western stop. Either is fine. If you want a dressage stop, I'll stay a little bit more upright and squeeze them. If I want a western stop, I'll put a little bit of curve in my back, and I expect his hip to drop a little bit lower. Then the next thing she had us do this morning is move the hip, right? So I'm going to slide that leg back towards the hip and actually hope that he pivots around his front end. And once I've done roughly a 180, then I'll just let him pause, and that's his way of knowing, yep, that's what I wanted. I wanted him to pause as a reward, but also because the horse is not going to get ahead of me. So now I'm going to walk down there. That was moving his hip around off of my left leg. Now I have a nice forward walk. And now I'm going to prepare my reins. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. If necessary, use the reins. Now I'll slide this leg back, and I would like him to pivot on his forehand with his hip moving the other way. And when I now every time he took a step, my leg came off. But before, and then he relaxes as well. But before he came to a complete stop, I would ask for another step. And then wait, and then another one. And then thank you, and then another one. Basically, it took me about 3 steps. So once again, both legs driving him forward. I'll come past the red cone. Once my hind legs are past, deep breath in, deep breath out, and if I need to, I can use the reins. A lot of times you don't need to. Then I can slide that leg back, keep him real balanced right here over his withers. Release my left leg, release my left leg, release my left leg, release my left leg. And now we see he's licking his lips out, although he's moving his hind end. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and we'll just one at a time come down through here. We'll walk, turn on the forehand to the right, walk, turn on the forehand to the left. And if your left is my right and my right's your left, doesn't matter. We'll just do it one direction, then the other. Okay, who would like to start? Roxanne, I knew that was going to be her. Straight down the middle, yes ma'am, and we'll watch. So she's walking. Tell me what kind of walk you got. Do you have kind of like a mosey? You got a mosey. So when she moseys, we see her legs swing left and right like a grandfather clock. Now when she gets ready to stop, she's going to pick up a little bit of contact. She's going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and whoo. And hopefully she's got her horse balanced on the front end, or balanced on the withers. She doesn't want too much bend to the left. She doesn't want too much bend to the right. So she's going to, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The only thing I would have changed maybe is let that right leg just drape down a little bit closer to the horse. A lot of us, when we're using this leg, we kind of balance with the other leg off the horse. But what we do is we kind of open that door and invite that horse's front end to drift around a little bit. So we're going to watch you. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you don't really want to open this one right up here, though. You want to kind of use it to kind of balance your horses. There, that's better. See, just by letting that leg hang down a little bit and kind of be in the way, it gave your horse a little bit more stability on the forehand. And then you got to time your driving leg with the rhythm of the horse. So you don't want to nag it, but at the same time, you do want to give it a micro reward. Good. And now you just walk a straight line. And so we'll just do a 180, then go back the other way. And this is Sheila and Margie's basically turn on the forehand that we were doing this morning. And remember, it's one step, thank you, one step, thank you, one step, thank you, and then you're pretty much done. So we'll prepare, pick up a little bit of contact, let the horse know we're going to stop, and stop pretty straight. And which way are you going to go?
I'll go with on my forehand, so I'm going to go.
Okay, so we'll watch this leg here to make sure it doesn't come too far off. Is the balance good? And micro paycheck, and then again, and again, and again. Good. And that's a 180. So that's pretty good. That is the turn on the forehand that she had us do this morning. Right here we can see the horse is a little bit crooked. So we can just move that right leg up, push the front end over and say, hey, get yourself straight. Now the horse is a little bit straighter, but most of our riding is between the legs, between the reins. And then eventually it'll be between the bridle, between the haunches. Okay, let's start right here to my left and we'll go all the way around. And as you start to come in, and if you have questions, just ask me. And the deal is, I know it's a little bit slow for everybody to do it separately, But we want to watch a few of these horses do it. We don't all have to do it separately. But in the beginning, we just want to kind of make sure that we get the whole principles of ask, reward, ask, reward, ask, reward down. And you can learn a lot by watching these other horses. And once we've done one or two maneuvers independently, then we'll start doing them as a group and in mass. So there's a nice halt. Now she's going to good, and then good, and then good. That's quite nice, actually. Good. And now there's a moment of pause. And then she'll walk back down this direction and do the same thing the other way. So this kind of gives us all an opportunity to kind of see different horses doing it different ways. Right here we could use a little bit of left leg to straighten the horse up. Good. We saw the left ear come back whenever she touched that horse's rib cage. Now whenever she gets ready, she'll bring him to a halt. Then she's going to do a turn on the forehand by moving the haunches around. She's trying to keep him really balanced over that pivot foot. Yep, yep, yep. And that looked very nice, actually. That was very well done. Thank you. Okay, now we'll do the next horse, the Rocky. That was well done. There was not much I would critique about that. Maybe on your straight line, you could kind of feel your horse was crooked sometimes. You just lay the leg, just lay a little bit of leg on there till he kind of gets straight and finds his balance. Other than that, it's quite nice. I know. He says, I got a big bubble, Buckley. Now we're going to send the Rocky around, down through the middle. We should see him stretching over his top line. We see a little bit of a head bob. We'll see it more when we get to going faster later. Then we got a halt. She's going to just kind of hold him on one side while she asks the hip to move around, predominantly with that right leg. And if we end up doing it with our reins, we saw that this morning when she was having us go over the second cone and do the turn on the forehand. A lot of people kind of got impatient, and when Margie was asking them to do a pivot on the hind leg and move the front end, horse would move, people would get impatient and kind of push them, and the horse is real quick when we hurry up that front end to kick the energy out the hind end. It's a real great escape, but it's not what we want. So we need to shape that front end. Like I'll shape his nose there a little bit to the right, and I might just lay that leg on there. And then every time I kind of get a little bit of the front end, I might take that leg back off. But see, if I get in a hurry with my right hand, then I'm going to start getting that front end to move. So what I did is I just got the shape I wanted, just like we did with the turn on the haunches this morning, and just get one step. Then you can keep that shape and get 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll get the bend we want, and then ask for it with our legs. We'll try it going back this way, please. It looks so easy when everybody else is doing it, not so easy when we do it. So we have a nice forward walk. Then we can prepare for a halt. And now we're just going to wait a little bit. Now she's going to let both legs hang down by the girth. And then whichever leg is not being used, we'll move back to where the back cinch would normally be, and we'll push the hind end around the inside or the outside front foot. There. Now see how pretty that is? Everybody see that? Now, just let that left leg hang on that cinch area. Good. The right leg touches and releases. The right leg touches and releases. Now, that felt better, didn't it? Yeah. And what it was is instead of trying to do it with your hand, the bridle, you went and did it with your leg. And so the horse is like, well, shoot, if you want me to move the hip, I'll just balance on my front end. And that's exactly what you wanted. That was well done. Okay, next. And we're going to apply the same principles later on to a turn on the haunches. Turn on the haunches we might do in a different location. Now with our English horses, we want a little bit more of an upright frame. So when she stops, she's not going to put the same curve in her lower back and her curve in her shoulders than I had. So she's going to be walking along, and when she does a halt, she's not going to be thinking about doing like a Western halt. She's going to be sitting kind of up, and she might even keep her legs on. Now she's only going to tip her horse's nose a little bit. The right leg comes off, then it goes back on, and then it comes off, and then you just sit still because you're already done there. We're not doing a 360. We're just doing half. Now we wait because we kind of overshot the runway there a little bit, so we wait. Excellent. Now we walk back down here. That's a pretty little horse right there. And now when you're ready to walk, you just look up, pick your line, ride it. You can let that nose come a little bit more forward just to let your walk kind of lengthen there, good. And then wherever you're ready, you can pick up a halt again. We'll have just a moment of pause. This is training, this is not showing. And once your horse is nice and square, then we'll just let one leg be quiet, and then you can move the hind end around, waiting, the horse is searching. Now take the leg off, then put it back on, and then take it off, then put it back on, and then take it off, then put it back on. Now you're starting to see that with a little bit of reward, and then before the momentum dies, you ask for it again, this horse will get quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter. So they deserve the opportunity to do things kind of slow. That was nice. Alrighty, next. And then if anybody wants to kind of be playing with this in the position that they're in, I'll kind of show you something after this that you can be doing while you're waiting to get to your turn. Now this horse we noticed had a little bit of energy when they kind of came in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do maybe 25% less pressure with the legs than some of the other riders did. So now we don't feel that our horse is that squared up, so maybe we just take half a step with that left front leg, and now we relax. Now we just wait. Now we pick up a little bit of rein contact and just kind of frame the horse up between the reins, so neither rein is really off the horse. The horse feels a rein on each neck. The left leg just hangs down, the right leg goes back, and we wait.